Hoping you can hear me and see me. Just waiting for the thing to go round. Yes, hopefully we're live now. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. If you're joining live, could you just put a little hashtag live in the comments? And if you are watching it as a replay, do the same, hashtag replay. It helps us to know that that these videos are being watched and are useful. Also, if you've got anything that you want to ask, you can do so in the comments. Just pop it in. Now, we appreciate that most of you are probably all very busy right now at work and probably not able to watch the live stream, but that's okay because you can watch it by catching up. And just, if that's what you're doing, just stick a hashtag replay in the comments. As I said, if you're watching it live, put hashtag live. Yes, hello Leslie, lovely to see you. It's always lovely to get a little bit of feedback, so that's nice. So today, Leslie, you're going to be really bored of hearing my voice because there's something that we chatted about in the fellowship yesterday, but we're on session 4, I believe, in these live streams. So we're on the food session. Before we get onto that though, I think we need to say a really big thank you to Simon O'Donovan, who is amazing in this group. And almost every day Simon puts in some content into our Facebook group with ideas for sessions, and we are so eternally grateful because we at Memory Matters are very, very busy. We do our very best to stick as much content as we can in all the various places we have, but I have to say Simon really does take the biscuit. He is awesome. So thank you, Simon, for that. I just wanted to sort of publicly thank him, and do feel free to thank Simon too from the bottom of your hearts, particularly if you're finding that his content is very useful for your groups and for your sessions. So thank you, Simon. So let's get on to food. And again, this is going to be just a very quick live. We do one every other week. So you've probably noticed we're getting into a rhythm here where we do one live session one week, and the following session we'll release a session plan which you can have. So if you're not yet on our list where the session plans go out to, do reach out to Shania in the group, and she will make sure that she gets you on the list and you get the free session plans that we're putting out every week. Today is food. Who doesn't want to talk about food, particularly at lunchtime? So I'm just going to give you a few ideas of things that we've had success with the food session. And just before I came on, I got my slide all ready, and then Facebook didn't play ball, so I couldn't get my slide on. But it doesn't really matter. Just imagine a lovely picture of some ladies cooking some bread. See if you can conjure that. So, food session, it's endless, isn't it? But it's not so endless when you are confined to the time constraint that you may have in your CST session. So you'll probably know, because I bang on about it all the time, CST sessions during the trials were 45 minutes. We have often run sessions that are an hour, and actually we've run sessions that are longer than that. But if we do run sessions that are longer than an hour, we tend to bookend it. So we might begin with some drinks and some biscuits and some fun, and then we get down to the structure of the session, and then we may have a few more biscuits afterwards. So the food session, we should be tasting things, surely. If we are, we need to be thinking about whether anybody's got any allergies. So that's why when people join your group, it's really important to get that information. Do they have any allergies? Are they diabetic? You need to think about all those things before we start tasting food, but I'm sure you all know that anyway. So any session that requires taste is great, because we know that the brain works better with the more senses that we're using, and that's why in cognitive stimulation therapy we try and use as many of the senses as possible in all of our groups. So we have props that we can touch and feel, but in the food session, why not use taste as well? So one of a great session that I once sat in on, which I wasn't running, it was Sophie, who's one of our lead facilitators, and she was doing a session on tasting lots of different items and then matching the item to an advertisement for that thing. So it might be, for example, it might have been beans, but so a little pot of beans to taste, and then to sort of have a look on the table and see which of the advertisements featured the thing that you've just tasted. I'm trying to think what else she had in there. So Worcester sauce was one of them, and I should imagine that we have a lot of local delicacies that might be known locally, that might not be known everywhere. So that's another whole conversation. And actually using a map is another great way. Maps are my friend when it comes to CST. But if you can get a map, so for us we would probably use a map of the British Isles, and then perhaps plot on the map the different types of food that you might have. So down here in the southwest in Cornwall, we'd have our Cornish pasty, which we'd stick in Cornwall. We might have a cream tea in the southwest as well, and we can argue between Devon and Cornwall which way the cream goes on, whether it's cream first or the jam first. These are all great discussions, of course. Don't forget, CST is all about providing discussion, or providing a means for discussion. What else can I tell you? Of course, baking is a great thing to do, but we don't always have the time to bake in a session. So we might do part of it. We might do part of the baking, and then the facilitator might take whatever it is, whether it's bread, away and bake it at home, and then bring it back to the session the following week, so it can be enjoyed. The same with cakes. I know you're now thinking, would it last a week? I don't know. Maybe put it in the freezer. You can freeze cake. There are always ways around these things. Where's my little list? So I've talked about the map, and of course, I'm talking about a map of the British Isles because I'm in the UK, but I know that we've got lots of members in the group who are all over the place, and I suspect that you could have all sorts of different ideas for different foods. And of course, you can do food all around the world. Why not have a world map? Another one that works is food coupling. So again, with this, we're using the right hand side of the brain, so the rhythm area of the brain. Fish and chips, salt and pepper, tea, and that's an interesting one, because is it tea and cake or tea and sympathy? There's a lot to be said. What is next? Growing food. What about growing food? So again, it depends what your venue is able to offer you, but if you've got a bit of outside space, why not do a bit of growing tomatoes? Or we've even attempted to grow apple seeds from an apple core before, and that's worked. Avocado, very interesting. If you stick cocktail sticks into your avocado and balance it on a glass so it just fits in the water, and grow that. There's lots of different things that you can do around food. And then a really lovely one is to use the sense of smell as well. So using small squares of material and filling them up with herbs and spices. So you can secure them with elastic bands and then pass them around and smell them. Now remember, because we're sticking to the principles of CST, we're not going to be going to them, smell this, what is it, or what do you think it is? But rather, we would be asking a question around, what does this make you think of? Or where would you be smelling this smell? So this can bring up some great conversations. Again, we're not putting people on the spot. Never going to put people on the spot. I think that's it for the food session. I try and keep to 10 minutes if I can. So there we go. Food session done. So that's number 4 of the session. So next time we will be looking at, let's have a look. I think it might be the sound session. Current affairs. It's current affairs next. We'll have a look at what we can do for current affairs the week after next. So next week you will get your free session plan if you're signed up for it. So make sure that you get hold of Shania in the group if you want to, or just stick it in the comments below. So lovely to see you all. Take care. Bye bye.